I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know.
Conor McGregor's dominance in the UFC is quite the story. He started with a bang, showcasing both his impressive skills and his bold personality.
Oh man, until that, he's done. He's done.
History has been made. Conor McGregor is the UFC lightweight champion.
McGregor is more than just confident, he's downright intimidating.
Surprise, surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
Wow! Conor McGregor is victorious. The crowd go absolutely wild.
He plays with their minds to the point where they forget how to fight. Dustin Poirier. Before facing Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier had already made a name for himself as one of the baddest fighters in the MMA world.
Get your shit together, young man. We got a belt to fight for. He's been here before.
Gaethje nearly out on his feet. Poirier continues to land.
But he doesn't have the wherewithal to clinch.
Dustin Poirier goes knockout.
He kicked off his career back in 2009, making a name for himself in the WEC in 2010 before transitioning to the UFC after the organizations merged. While fighting in the featherweight class, he defeated tough opponents like Josh Grisby, Max Holloway, and Diego Brandao with amazing finishes. He was on a roll at this point until he met McGregor. His first showdown with McGregor was at UFC 178 in 2014, but the Notorious secured a TKO victory in the first round, dealing a tough blow to Poirier's winning streak.
Hands in his hips. Having a conversation. Looking to finish the fight. It is all over. Just like that.
Like Aldo, Poirier decided to change weight classes and moved up to the lightweight division following his defeat to McGregor in the hopes of a fresh start. And it worked, because he worked hard to rebuild his career, and he bagged impressive wins against tough opponents like Yancy Medeiros, Joseph Duffy, and Bobby Green. This helped him cement his status as a top contender in the lightweight division, earning glowing reviews for his durability and improved striking abilities. Along the way, he had some memorable fights, including a thrilling matchup against Justin Gaethje, and that was a strong candidate for Fight of the Year, as well as TKO victory over Eddie Alvarez. Poirier reached a major milestone in 2019 by capturing the interim UFC lightweight title after an exhilarating 5-round showdown with Max Holloway. This victory earned him a shot at the undisputed title against Khabib Nurmagomedov, but he ultimately fell short, losing via submission. So he circled back to McGregor in 2021. He had already earned a reputation as a skilled fighter, celebrated for his mental fortitude and ability to bounce back from tough situations. Since their first fight, Poirier had significantly improved his boxing skills and fighting IQ. Poirier was motivated to get revenge for his previous loss and establish himself as a strong contender in the division. So, at UFC 257, he defeated McGregor via TKO in the second round. This victory not only boosted Poirier's confidence, but it also cemented his status as one of the top contenders in the lightweight division, increasing his popularity and marketability within the UFC. The duo clashed once again in a trilogy showdown at UFC 264 in July 2021. Even though a doctor had to step in at the end of the first round due to McGregor's leg injury, Poirier won once again. His cool reaction to McGregor's provocative post-fight remarks won him over more admirers and colleagues. Following the trilogy, Poirier maintained his status as a leading contender for the lightweight championship, setting his sights on another chance at UFC glory. Jose Aldo is the perfect example. The Brazilian kicked off his professional career back in 2004, and boy did he make a splash. He quickly rose to the top of the featherweight division, showing everyone what he was made of.
Well, big shot there from Aldo, and now he puts it together up top. Jose Aldo gets busy on the feet. Jose Aldo, turn it back the clown. Jose Aldo by knockout.
One of his big moments came in 2009 when he won the WEC Featherweight Championship after taking down Mike Brown. But that was just the beginning. When the WEC joined forces with the UFC in 2010, Aldo became the first ever UFC Featherweight champ. Some big names tried to take him down like Urijah Faber, Hominick, Kenny Florian, and Chad Mendes, but Aldo stood his ground, extending his winning streak to a jaw-dropping 18 fights. During this amazing run, Aldo's striking skills were something else, especially those leg kicks and his defense game. But the Notorious was a roadblock he wasn't expecting. Originally set for the UFC 189, their bout got delayed until UFC Featherweight Championship in a stunning 13 seconds with a left hook that knocked the Brazilian unconscious.
Relaxed, smiling. Oh! Just left it!
So, he sought a rematch immediately, but it never materialized. Instead, Aldo was promoted to undisputed champion when McGregor was stripped of the featherweight title after his change of divisions and the boxing match with Mayweather. But this was short-lived because in 2017, he faced Max Holloway and suffered yet another TKO loss.
Max Holloway knocks down Jose Aldo. Max Holloway! Max Holloway is the undisputed UFC Featherweight Champion.
The story repeated itself later that year when he fought Holloway again and got knocked out again. Aldo hadn't been the same since. Sure, he bounced back with wins against Jeremy Stephens and Renato Moicano, but Marlon Vera narrowly defeated him on his debut later in 2019 when he made the move to the bantamweight weight class. Then, at UFC 251, he challenged Peter Yan for the vacant UFC bantamweight championship and got TKO'd in the 5th round. He stayed in the game for a long time after that and earned a few more wins against tough opponents like Marlon Vera, Pedro Munhoz, and Rob Font. But he eventually decided to hang up his gloves in 2022, ending his run in MMA. Unlike the next fighter, Chad Mendes is another story. Chad Mendes made quite a mark in the featherweight division before his showdown with Conor McGregor. His background in wrestling and improving striking abilities catapulted him to the top. Starting his MMA journey undefeated, he entered the UFC in 2011 and quickly climbed the ranks. Although his first title shot against Jose Aldo in 2012 ended in a first-round knockout,
But Mendes reconnects him and he's free. That's it. Trying to finish it. And it is all over.
Mendes bounced back with an impressive winning streak against tough opponents like Clay Guida and Nick Lentz. This earned him a rematch with Aldo in 2014, a fight that, despite being a loss, showcased his tenacity and skill, cementing his reputation in the MMA world. The clash with McGregor at UFC 189 happened when Mendes stepped up on short notice to replace an injured Aldo for the interim UFC Featherweight Championship. While Mendes managed to control much of the fight with his wrestling, McGregor's striking ultimately led to a second-round TKO victory. Even in defeat, Mendes' resilience and talent shone through, keeping him highly regarded in the division. He faced Frankie Edgar later in December 2015, but unfortunately, a first-round knockout marked another setback. In 2016, Mendes faced a different challenge when he received a 2-year suspension from USADA for testing positive for a banned substance, which he attributed to a skin cream for psoriasis. However, he made a triumphant return in 2018, showcasing his knockout power with a TKO win against Miles Jury. But his next fight against Alexander Volkanovski in December 2018 ended in a second-round TKO loss, with Volkanovski later claiming the UFC Featherweight Championship.
Pressure on Mendes. Ripping to the right. Huge wow.
Following this loss, Mendes decided to retire from MMA in 2019, leaving behind a legacy as one of the division's best. Even after hanging up his gloves, he stayed active, dabbling in bare-knuckle boxing and exploring other business ventures, all while remaining a beloved figure in the MMA community. Dennis Siver had it rough though. Before facing Conor McGregor, Dennis Siver was already well known in the MMA world thanks to his impressive kickboxing skills and a solid track record. He started his MMA journey back in 2004 and made his way to the UFC in 2007, where he showcased his powerful striking abilities, especially his signature move, the spinning back kick. Initially fighting in the lightweight division, Silva later moved to the featherweight to shake things up and take on new challenges. Throughout his career, Seaver went toe-to-toe with some tough opponents like Ross Pearson, Donald Cerrone, and Cub Swanson, racking up both wins and losses. His reputation as a seasoned veteran and top 10 contender grew, often serving as a test for up-and-coming fighters aiming to make a mark in the UFC. The much-anticipated showdown with Conor McGregor happened on January 18, 2015 at UFC Fight Night 59. McGregor claimed victory by TKO in the second round, showcasing his superior striking skills. And while Seaver couldn't secure the win, he earned the respect for his resilience, lasting longer against McGregor's attacks than many predicted. Despite the setback, Seaver continued to compete in the UFC but struggled to find his footing. Losses to Tatsuya Kawajiri and a win against Charles Rosa followed, signaling a shift in his career trajectory. After parting ways with the UFC, Seaver joined Absolute Championship Berkut, or ACB, where he fought a few more matches before he too hung up his gloves for good. As for McGregor, fans are waiting for him to make his next move, and all eyes are on him as 2024 unfolds. Who knows? There's still potential for him to break more records and make Dana more money. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe to our channel for more content just like this.